Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Day 1, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Quintana Roo, and, of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We're about to send out our 50,000th grant for CAF, and we're also distributing over $5 million in grants this year. Our next guest, she is racing here this weekend, Jen Temperley. She's also a Wildflower ambassador, a Betty ambassador. You are like a professional ambassador. How you doing, Jen?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you. We got the beautiful ocean right behind us.
Getting ready.
You are now. Have you done this race a bunch?
I have been. I was looking in the archives, and 2015 was the first time I signed up for it. I ended up injured. I got car-doored and didn't. I came and volunteered. I caught people at the finish line, but yeah, I've done it several times after that in one capacity or another.
So what got you into the sport? Did you grow up a swimmer, cyclist, runner?
Swimmer.
Swimmer.
Yeah,
okay.
Swimmer since I was 6 years old. Through all the YMCA stuff, and then club, and then college, Division I.
Where?
Collegiate. University of San Diego.
Well, you're talking Division I swimming. What was your stroke?
Well, you probably guessed it. It was 400 IM and the mile. So
the
distance,
longer the better.
And I like variety, which what got me into triathlon.
Well, and then you get a little tired of that black line and get to a point where you're like, hey, I like my swimming stuff, but what can I add to it?
Right.
Is that what got you into it?
Yeah, cross training. We started cross training. Believe it or not, I did a Iron Kid event when I was really young. And,
really? Wait. Where'd you do the Iron Kids?
Houston was the...
Okay.
So Dallas and then Houston, they had the final.
I did the national. I was we did the commentating for the Rainbow Colonial Iron Kids Spread National Championships. Rainbow Iron Kids, Iron Bread. National Championships.
Yeah, I had the cotton T-shirt and the Huffy and the
exactly
back when it was a different sport, but it was fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was you realize Lance Armstrong raced that and lost to a guy named Nick Ratkowicz, who became one of our Olympic athletes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick's claim to fame is he kicked Lance's ass at Iron Kids National Championship. It was pretty fun. That was a great series.
It was a great series.
So fun.
Yeah.
I need to bring that thing back. And the cool thing was you had kids with their bikes with training wheels and tassels, and then some 8-year-old with a drop frame,
of course,
with a disc wheel on the back. You know?
Who might be related to a triathlete, right?
Exactly, exactly. So, but out of college, and then you find the sport of triathlon, and what became your goals to go to Ironman, to go to World Championships and shorter distance?
Yeah, I'd say I wanted to qualify. So whatever they had out there, I was like all in. So
I want to qualify for Worlds in this. I want to qualify for Ironman.
Kona was the big nugget. So I did my first Ironman in 2002.
Okay.
And that was the one and only Boise. So
that's coming back this year.
I did that one.
The 70.3,
Yeah. So did that, and wasn't quite checking the box there. So then I did Vineman, and so that was 2002, which is so crazy because it's been a long time. But dabbled,
years.
Had a few kids in the meantime, and then got back into it about 10 years ago, pretty seriously.
Well, and talk to me a little bit about Fly Health and Fitness, health and wellness.
Yeah, so my business partner and I kicked that off about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been coaching for about 20 some odd years, and we both have led very parallel lives. And then we were like, let's do this together.
Perfect.
We both have this joy of sport, this love of coaching women, getting out there, the education, the science, and we certainly had the background and the experience, and then we wanted to share with other people. So nutrition coaching, endurance coaching, and overall health coaching. So all the pillars.
Why is this sport so good for female, all athletes obviously, but for female athletes?
Oh, so many things. I mean, confidence, health. It can be good at the detriment. I got where I just was too much into it. It
became a job.
Which became, which lowered the health. So now I'm all about health span. I'm all about doing it for the passion of the sport and the love of the sport and reining yourself back. It's really hard to rein yourself back when you are super competitive, and a lot of these triathletes are driven and dedicated and want to get to their goals. And so there was just a gap in coaching that, I felt like.
Love it. And when you talk passion and you talk excitement of the sport, Wildflower is like the top of the list, right? You're
That's right.
ambassador for Wildflower.
That's right. Yep.
I've been there a bunch of times, and we call it the Woodstock of Triathlon.
Yeah.
It's a special weekend, and it hasn't happened in a few years, so now
That's
it's
right.
back.
Yep.
And talk a little bit about what's going to happen that weekend.
It's so, well, it is one of my favorite races because it's the Woodstock. It brings back, I told you I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So you just go and everyone is kind of your captive audience of racing.
Yes, you do.
You are in this
You can't go
campsite
anywhere.
and you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere, and you are playing. There's such a multitude of events there that I love. It's not just, what are you doing tomorrow? It's,
Right.
I remember crossing the finish line, and then it was someone was finishing a paddleboard race, someone was finishing mountain bike over here, and everyone was just doing whatever sport they liked.
Right.
And the camaraderie around it, the community, the sport has become such a community sport for me, just being around these people with the love of the game, so to speak.
I always
It's a really
call
great
our
race.
sport the fountain of youth, right? And it's great. And what's great about that weekend, here you've got all these Cal Poly San Luis Obispo kids, right?
there's a lot of them, yeah.
And then we've got all the age group athletes going all the way up through 80, 84, 85, 89. You can do a mountain bike triathlon. You can do the Olympic. You can do a sprint, and you can do the Big Daddy, where you go up nasty grade and suffer for a lot of hours. All right, that race is no joke in terms of the long course.
Yeah, it is definitely challenging, but you don't want to deter people for that too. Like, I think a lot of people do it because of that. Like they've heard about nasty grade, they've heard about this race, they want to do it, and then there's options too. I signed up for the long one and then the Olympic on Sunday. So I'm just diving in.
You got a full weekend.
And doing it all. But again, I'm captive audience. So
Right.
but it is such the atmosphere overall is just, it's hard to explain. So
Yes.
I just feel like
People got to be there.
got to get there.
And they added running events this year, right? There's
Yeah.
running events. I think there's like a 20K or something like
Yeah.
that. And so you can come up there. And what I loved the last time that the event happened, it used to be you had to be down by the lake where all events were. Well, now there were events up at the campgrounds, right? So people didn't have to go up and down the big hills to
Right.
go do a run.
Right.
And the other thing is just the camping atmosphere, right? Families come, bring their kids. There's something for us. Kids events, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And music. We don't want to forget the music.
I remember the music. I remember the wake up call. Very
Yes.
loud at whatever time, 5 in, 6 in
Yes.
the morning, and everyone's just all in.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about
Now,
the
will
pill.
you be bringing a big group? What's your
Well,
plan?
we have the Betty Squad. So there is, I think we have the most people actually right now in the club division. We've got close to 40 people
Wow.
going. So yeah, we got a crew. We
That
tell
is
these girls to
awesome.
go, and they are all in. And a lot are bringing their family. A lot are
Yes.
coming, with spouses, and a lot we're just jumping in these RVs. We'll be camping. We'll have a big crew,
contingent.
and everyone's doing different events, and so it's going to be great.
How excited were you when you heard this was coming back?
Oh my gosh,
Wildflower.
I truly was excited because I had done this. Well, I did it like probably 2011, 12. Took a little break, and then 2018 I did the double, and I was so pumped. I was like, "Wow, this is just me!" Signed up, got a whole crew, we got the RVs, and then it didn't happen for a couple of years. So I
Right.
was like, "Please come back!" And every year it would be like,
Are you
"There's
coming back?"
rumors, there's rumors.
Yes.
Is it coming back?" And now that it is, it's going to be pretty special.
Yeah. And how long you been part of Betty Squad?
I was an OG.
No way.
That's right.
Wow. We Kristen right from the beginning,
like
early
I said, I've
on.
been doing it. Yeah, 2013.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a great camaraderie. It's a great group.
And have you seen? Obviously, you've been working with women on, women to fuel their body and train smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you have a tendency people can go over the edge and they train too much. They hurt themselves. And that balance. How hard is it to find that balance so that you're loving the sport, you continue to love the sport, and you're not burning yourself out?
I used to. My answer to that 10 years ago would be very different than it is now.
What would have been 10 years ago?
There wasn't any balance. It was all in
all
and
in.
just
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
and
yeah.
if it's do this workout, it was do the workout.
Right.
It wasn't
There's no
think
deviation.
about and just drive go. Now I don't really believe in balance. Like, I think balance is a tough word. So I feel like during race season, you push and you're going to just alter your priorities a little bit.
Right.
Right. So you just move things around a little bit. So when you have goals, when you have this season, you go, that's probably not going to be 365 days a year.
Right.
So then you're going to swap out, give a little more time. It's going to be more fun, Jen, or
Yes.
hanging out with the family, like doing all these different things. I think there needs to be that rotation built into a training season. Otherwise, burnout is pretty inevitable, or injury.
How is Wildflower different than you come here for the weekend and do Oceanside? How's Wildflower different than your typical triathlon weekend?
I feel like it just truly goes back to the roots of the sport. It's about the events at hand. So whether it's swim, bike, run, or whether it's the trail run, it's not everybody diving into podium or qualify or do these things. They're so supportive. Everyone is, and not to say that other Ironman, you still get that support in an Ironman race, but again, you're in this campground the whole weekend.
Yes.
So you finish, and then you're like, okay, what are we going to do now? And everyone is there supporting everyone. I think the course is a legit course. No question that there's a trail run that is on after Nasty Grade that you just get into, and it's a really hard, challenging course on a lot of levels.
And you're racing here this weekend.
I am. A couple days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got this, you got basically a 70.3, and then you got Wildflower. Do you do anything in between racing wise, or is that plenty?
I think 4 weeks will be good. Like I said, I train a little smarter now, so it'll be a little recovery and then build back, and then. But there wasn't a question I wasn't going to do Wildflower.
You have to
it's a big
Wildflower,
one. Yeah.
right?
You got it.
And you knew you were going to do the long one.
I knew it. Yeah. It's hard for me to go in and
It's funny too, because when people climb Nasty Grade, they think, okay, climbing's done. I was like, no. That's sort of like the beginning. There's a lot of climbing.
You got wind.
Even when you get into the park, there's a lot of climbing in the park. But it's one of those. It's one of those events that it's a bucket list event. If you have not done it before, it's a weekend that you'll never forget, right? We've had a number of our challenged athletes there, and we've been on stage with our athletes, and there's just some learnings that happen on that course.
Oh yeah, you can't really explain it.
You got to be there
unless you've been there.
You got to be there.
Yeah, and that last hill down at the finish line, you're flying, and it's incredible.
One of my favorite moments was, I'm sure it wasn't one of Jesse Thomas's favorite moments, but he was coming down that hill. And I think he'd won the race 3 times before, but he had a guy with him coming down that last hill to the finish, and he knew he had just gotten the stress fracture running down that hill, but he still won.
Yeah.
And at the finish, he's standing there when you put the microphone. He says, "I think I just broke my foot."
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but
that's
that downhill is. But you look forward to it the whole time, right? You're like, okay, the last mile. It's not really a half marathon because the last mile's downhill.
Right.
Yeah, that last mile still beats you up.
Rough.
It's
real rough. Yeah.
But there's nothing better than coming across that finish line.
It's great.
Yeah, and big crowds.
I'm looking
huge
forward
crowds
to
at the finish.
Massive crowds, and like I said, people they just watched another finish line or another.
Yes.
It's pretty impressive, and I know they've got a lot of support, a lot of sponsors. It's gonna be good.
Thank you, Jen, for taking time.
Of course.
Part of our favorite groups, Betty Group, Wildflower. And so if people want to track you down to get some training, how do they do that?
So the website, Fly Health Wellness.
Okay.
My business is Fly Health and Wellness. So Instagram, Fly Health Wellness, and also Jen Temperley, my name.
Easy.
Track me down. Easy. Yeah, love to.
Jen Temperley has been our guest. Make sure that you put it on your schedule and go to Wildflower. Tri California is the group that puts it on, and Terry Davis, Colleen, Bousman, their entire family. It's a family affair. You definitely want to be there. Again, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. Hold on. We will be right back.